They, by and large, are people who have solo encounters and then just go on with their lives. And it's a much more interesting, to me, phenomenon because most of them have no reason to report the encounter that they have, and actually a lot of reason that you would not want to report the encounters that these people have. And some of them are abduction stories, but then you also have, there's one sort of particularly, to me, credible witness that I talk about in the book, who's a policeman in Socorro, New Mexico in 1964. His name is Lonnie Zamora. And he's a small town cop chasing a speeder in the desert, in the road out into the desert. He knows who the speeder is. You know, he's a good small town cop, so he knows it's like the kid that he normally has a lot of trouble with. He hears an explosion off in the desert and sees what he thinks is a overturned white car off in the desert. So he abandons his pursuit. He knows he can show up at that kid's house later and get him. And he sort of turns his Pontiac Cruiser off and is like bumping up and down through the gullies towards this overturned car. There are two figures standing outside of it. And as he gets closer, they get into the craft. He describes it sort of football shaped as he gets closer, and the craft takes off. And something happens to Lonnie Zamora in that desert. There is a New Mexico state trooper who shows up on the scene within a couple of minutes, sees Lonnie Zamora sort of shaken and upset by whatever this encounter is that he has had. There's some circumstantial evidence that the military and the FBI respond to the scene and find marks in the desert where the craft, a craft sat or appeared to have sat where Lonnie Zamora said that it was. And that he is considered to be, by the government investigators, sort of one of the most credible witnesses that we have, in part because he has no reason to make up this story, and then just goes on with the rest of his life and never has another, encounter or experience to report.